to season 2 of the Whiskey Weigh-In podcast. We've been gone for just about 10 months, but we're back and we're excited to get things kicked off, and we'll catch you guys up a little bit on what's been going on and why we've been away so long. Why don't you start us off, Shay? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? Nothing much. Got a new job. That's been consuming a lot of time. Been messing up the UFC events for me a little bit. But I always have, I watch it up until I leave, and I'll have Devin record it on her phone. And then I'll come home the next morning from work. I'll run home, and I'm like, grab the phone. I'm like, I'm glued to it.
Yeah.
For whatever I missed.
So you working night shifts somewhere? Where are you working now?
Night shifts.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, we're at a prison up here in Morgantown. I've been working night shifts. I just recently switched to the evening, 4 to 12, so I'll be able to get home and catch the tail end of cards, or I can just, have it recorded and then catch up to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Looks like we'll have some late nights watching and recording.
Late nights. What about you? What's been going on? Tell our viewers why we haven't recorded in 10 months. Because viewers
probably should have started with me, actually.
You probably should have started with you, because I just want everybody to know it wasn't me.
I knew you were going to say this.
We weren't on a long hiatus because of me.
Yeah. All right, so I'll take ownership as to why we haven't been consistent, which is probably the most important thing you would want to be when you start a podcast. I think we got 11 episodes in, so I think
it's more than that.
Oh, was it?
It's more than 11. I don't know the exact number, but it's more than 11.
Yeah, I think we beat the average. I think the average is like 7.
So we did good. We did decent then.
We'll spin this as a season 2 and act like we're like a series on Netflix or something. We're finally back.
That was planned,
right? But so I've had a lot going on. I would say right around the time we started to look for a house is when we stopped recording, and we moved from our apartment to a new house. I finished up my master's degree at Johns Hopkins. What else is going on? I mean, those are the 2 big things. I was really busy with work and school for a while.
Yep.
And then honestly, you only have so much time in the day, and I just didn't make time. There's no real list of excuses that I can give you, but
let me tell y'all, this house, like this setup right here is amazing. The house is beautiful. I love it here. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think of this setup, but this setup to me, I don't know. This table is so nice. The little round table here. We got the Whiskey Weigh-In behind us. I love it. I love this setup so much more.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a little more room to work with. You can't see, but on the other side, you kind of have like a flat screen and a sectional and more of a dedicated studio space that we don't have to move around all the time. It's definitely much better than sitting at the desks where we were before.
And it's not clustered. I was just now going back and kind of like watching our previous ones, and it was so clustered.
Yeah, it was.
We're not clustered at all. Like, I didn't even really think of that when we were doing it before. I was just like, oh, this is such a sweet setup. Right. And now I look at it and I'm like, man, we were clustered. We were really clustered.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's kind of new in our lives. And that's what we've been doing. And we really hope to take this thing a lot further than what we did before. We hope to improve and get feedback and reconnect with all of our viewers. Didn't really lose subscribers through the break, so that's good. And so as far as podcasting goes, we're really excited to be back. And I guess let's get to it and start talking a little bit about UFC, and maybe we'll get into some other stuff too. So what kind of stuff have we missed in the last 10 months? I mean, it's been a crazy 10 months.
Before I get into that, tell them what we're drinking on. What are we sipping on?
Today I have Woodford Reserve. Let me check, actually. It's just it's your standard Woodford. It's a $40 bottle. It's not the double oaked or the rye or anything. But it's good. It's really good. You started with something. Now you moved to the Woodford.
Yeah, I moved to I stole the Woodford from him. I'm a little cheap. I've been drinking the Jim Beam, and I'm not going to lie, but really going to show how cheap I am. I've been on Evan Williams lately, but man, you can't beat. I feel like you can't beat Evan Williams for the price.
Oh, my buddy drinks it too. Oh, it's really not that bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's not good, but it's like...
Come on, man. I have the Jim too, but I've been on a peach kick lately where it's been a little bit warmer. it just feels good outside. And I've been on a peach kick, like the peach Jim
Bean, right?
Yeah. Peach Jim and the peach Evan. You know, I have the crown at the house, but I break that. You know, I should have broke it out for this. This is a very special occasion, but I always tell myself I don't break the crown out, the crown peach, unless it's a real special occasion. Like I'm just, you know, like it's with buddies that I haven't seen in a long time. But
that's good then.
Yeah.
Don't waste it on an episode.
Don't waste it on season 2, episode 1.
Yeah, that actually brings up a topic real quick before we get into the UFC segment. How are your buddies doing that I hung out with? Was it Mark and Deshaun?
Yeah. Wow, man, you got a great memory.
Yeah,
you got
I remember their names.
You know, I just actually
a little shout out to you.
A little shout out. I just messaged them and I was saying, getting the podcast going. Anything you want me to talk about? And they hadn't responded yet, but. That's a good memory on your part. They're doing good, you know. Good. They're doing good. Deshaun actually just had a kid. Shout out to Deshaun and the newborn.
Man.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations, my man. Getting old.
Crazy big news.
Yeah, so let's jump into the UFC. You're saying what have we missed? I mean, it's more of a question of what haven't we missed in 10 months, and right. We can't really recap 10 months of it.
Yeah.
If you hit your big points, I think the biggest thing. One of the biggest things is Conor coming back to fight.
Yeah.
We watched it here, and I'll never forget this. You know, I was drinking the proper, and Conor was coming out. It was his entrance, you know, legendary with Big E and, you know, the Foggy Dew mix. And Brenton looked at me and he said, "I never thought we'd be watching a Conor fight together." And I was like, "Man, you're right." It was just like I just get chills with that Conor. Anytime Conor fights, and anytime, you know. It was a good time. Conor, you know, came out and did great. But now the new talks with Conor is he retired.
For the third time, right?
But it's for a whole different reason, though.
What is the reason? I didn't even notice.
The reasoning, he said he can't get a fight. Dana won't book him a fight.
There's a lot of guys that want to fight him, though. I mean, I'm sure they just got to make the numbers right, or what?
I think from what I've read and seen, is they don't want to get him a fight because they can't get that gate money. And it's UFC, it's not Conor. Conor wants to fight, and they won't book it. So I mean, like,
so if he gets a fight, he'll be back.
Yeah, but I don't think the UFC they don't want to do it because you got to think with Conor, you're going to sell out.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, he could fight, you know, Mr. Potato Head, and he's going to sell out the arena.
That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't want to use him for something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like because they're missing out on so much money,
right? With
the gate, and it just, I get it, and that's got to be frustrating though. I mean, if you want to fight, and I mean, and he came out and said he wanted to fight 3 times this year, and if you're limiting him to where he can't fight,
yeah, why does he have incentive? He already doesn't have much incentive because he seems to be doing okay financially.
You know what? With this proper 12, it's ridiculous how much money he's making.
I mean, is that still going well? I mean, yeah.
It's going really well. From I forget who was just talking about it. I think it was Shab who was talking about it. And he was talking...
I was wondering about that. I know it was like really popular there when it first came out and everybody liked it. And
still good.
Yeah.
I mean, I recommend it to anybody that wants it. Like I said, I know he doesn't like it better than Jameson. I personally like it better than Jameson. I'm Irish. I have a red beard, so I mean, I would listen to me over him anyways. But I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, like, I'm not mad at I mean, I'm kind of disappointed he would use the word retirement. I would more along the lines come out and call the UFC out. It just like lay it all out what's going on.
Yeah.
Instead of saying retired and then like, by the end of the year, if they have fans, him fighting. And it's like, man, you're Brett Favre-ing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you keep saying you're retired, but you're not.
You know, it's interesting though, because Conor's taking this approach, but there are other fighters coming out and calling out the UFC. So Jorge.
Yeah. Masvidal. Yeah, Masvidal is a big one. So let's talk about Masvidal because that's a big one. That's a big talking point to me. He wants more money. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. He's complaining that he can't... They offered him less money to fight for the actual belt against Usman than what he got against Diaz for a fake belt in the BMF title. So here's my thing, and he's blaming Usman that Usman can't sell the fight.
I was about to say that.
That's
in the interview that I saw, he was blaming Usman.
Yes, he's blaming Usman, and that's that he's getting less money. But if you are so big, don't you think you would still get the same money? If you are worth that much, like, do you think it matters who Conor fights?
He's one of the biggest fighters in the UFC now.
But do you think it matters who Conor fights? He's still going to get his.
Yeah.
No matter what. No matter if it's Cowboy, no matter if it's Khabib, Diaz, he's getting his money.
Right.
So Masvidal needs to look at that as, maybe I'm not as big as I think I am. And maybe that was a me and Nate collision, and that's why I got so much.
Yeah, so that's a little bit tough for me because you're seeing other fighters come out and say the same thing. I mean, yeah, it's Jon Jones, but I feel like he's being at least pretty transparent.
So,
with not being treated right. I mean, it's kind of well known that these fighters are not paid as well as they could or should be. I mean, everyone says that. So maybe that's just the time is now that they're choosing to stand up for themselves. It's quite a difficult time to do that for the business.
So that's what I was just going to say. Why all of a sudden? Also, time out. Let me reverse 1 second before we do that. Masvidal just signed a deal. He just signed like a 7-fight deal. Why were you not discussing that in your deal?
Yeah.
Besides the point, that frustrates me in itself.
He's got other people in his ears. Like, who knows what the reasoning is? I mean, people were posting screenshots of his tweets before on his most recent tweets complaining. They were posting screenshots of him talking about how happy he was and how much money he was making.
Exactly.
And how pleased he was. But now that he's making, this much money and he was used to making this much, he's just kind of...
He wants it to keep going. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like everyone needs to understand...
It's a business, I mean, but...
You need to understand you're not Conor. And I think people want Conor money and people like just see that and it's like, you're not getting it. You're just not getting it. And it is what it is. And you're picking the worst time to call the UFC out. There's less money to be made because of gates. You don't have gates. It's literally pay-per-view buys. And what else is it?
Right. You're probably the only person that I have heard that's really taken up for Dana. So hard.
But that's the thing though, is I don't want to because I want the fighters to get paid.
Yeah.
But you're picking the worst time possible to go after Dana. It's like
you're certainly not being a company man.
And that's the thing. How do you go after a business when you know they're making less money right now?
Right.
And you're wanting more money? That doesn't make sense.
I took pay cuts. I mean, we reduced hours and stuff like that. I mean, it's just...
It is what it is. Like, you have to see it.
Do, yeah.
Exactly. And if you don't want to fight, like, if you don't think you're getting the money you deserve right now because there's not a gate, then wait. Mm-hmm. I mean, just wait and don't complain about it. And so here's another thing that I saw. I think it was DC talking about, man, DC is on the money with talking about stuff. Like, I love him as a fighter, but him as a commentator and, like, talking to Hawani, he is just on point.
So what's his take?
He made a great point of, these fighters talking about not making enough money. He said, basically, what is enough money? Because nobody knows what anybody is making.
Oh, that's a good point.
Nobody's transparent. He's like, your top dogs, like Conor and all them, they don't tell you how much money they're making.
Yeah. And
same with Jon Jones. Jon Jones, like, they said that he had, like, a base of $500,000, but then it came out that it was, like, $5 million. So, like, it's not transparent.
It's pretty different, yeah.
It's not transparent of what these fighters are actually making. So then you have no leverage to negotiate.
Right.
You're just basically like, I guess that's okay. And then that's what they fight for.
That's a really good point. They need to, if they're going to fight this, they should probably join up and actually communicate. Well, does it go against their contract to talk about that stuff?
And I don't know. DC didn't say anything about that, but... There has to be something about it because nobody releases it. Or is it like...
these are big-name guys that are complaining.
Especially Masvidal right now. I mean, who's a hotter fighter than Masvidal after last year?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a huge Masvidal fan. I don't get me wrong. I like me some Masvidal, and I have since he was fighting in the Kimbo Slice days.
Yeah.
But if people aren't transparent, you can't really do anything.
No, yeah.
I mean, you don't know what anybody's making.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, and then you have Jon Jones crying that he's not making enough, that he has to make more to go fight Francis. Once again, you have no gate. to get that extra money. Would I love to see Jon Jones and Francis? Yeah, probably more than any other fight that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what a fight that would be.
Right. Yeah, he just wants it to be worth it. Like really, really, really worth it, which is understandable, I guess. But...
So when he says he wants it to be really worth it, what is that number?
Yeah.
Why are you not putting it out? Why are you not being transparent with what you want versus what you just got paid against Reyes?
Right.
Be transparent. Like, let us know instead of just being weird about it and saying, I want more money. Well, what is more money? Mm-hmm. Is it something that's feasible? Or do you want Conor money that's not feasible?
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, yeah, Jones is one of the best of all time. But does he really bring in pay-per-view buys?
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd have to look at those numbers.
I don't think that, like, there's not too many people that bring in pay-per-view buys that is must-see. Like, if you put someone on a card that has a bunch of, like, nobodies on it, are they going to get pay-per-view buys? Not really. Your pay-per-view buys that aren't big people is when it's a stacked card.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we just leave that at that. Too many unanswered questions and answers that we don't have, so there's really
and people
nowhere else
aren't
to go with it.
They're not transparent with it. You got to be transparent with it. That's the big thing.
But that's been a real big topic of recent. What else happened? Jon Jones got in trouble again.
No surprise.
Like, I don't even know how this guy can afford to get in trouble again. He's just lost so many fans. Almost every tweet he puts out, people are just shredding him.
As they should be.
I think he got a little bit of love going out into the streets and taking paint cans from these kids that were messing with the peaceful protests. So that was pretty cool.
I respect that.
He's doing good for his community, so I'm really happy to see that.
He was helping out too.
Something positive from him outside the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that guy shot himself in the foot so many times.
He can't sit around and drink whiskey like me and you do.
He just can't. Yeah.
He can't drink. I mean, and just
he's got to go all in.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just can't drink, and it is what it is. I mean, every time that he's like in trouble, besides like steroids and stuff, it's him drinking.
Right. Yeah.
There's a common denominator here.
Yeah. So there's that. What about some big fights that happened that we didn't really get to touch on?
So I mean, you had
Tony Ferguson lost, which blew my mind.
That was amazing. And so what really irks me about that is people's like, oh, he got destroyed by Gaethje. What do you think Khabib would have done to him? Khabib wouldn't have stood with him like that.
Yeah,
big difference.
Right.
Big difference. Tony
would have been a totally different fight.
Yeah, it's totally different fight. So I hate hearing that. That's such like a casual argument to me that I don't want to hear. Yeah. But wow, Gaethje surprised me. Gaethje looked great. And his corner did amazing. His corner told him, like, the last time you got excited, you ended up losing. And then, like, he pulled back. And then also, like, after the first round, they were like, you're throwing with everything you got. Take 10, 20% off of that, and we're going to be good. And you're not going to wear yourself out. Did it. Gaethje, I mean, it's one thing to have a great corner telling you what to do and what not to do, and it's another thing to be a fighter and put your pride aside and listen. Listen to your corner. Amazing.
So, you see Gaethje on Rogan with his trainer?
Yeah.
That was pretty incredible. Just to see the relationship that they have, the faith that they have in each other, the respect. Really excited to see what that guy does in the future. Let me take a quick break here. I'm going to make sure this is still recording. Yeah. All good?
So we're new to this now. We're new to this now.
Hey, we don't want to be wasting time.
That's true.
We think we're recording and we're not.
That's true.
Just had to double check. I forgot to flip the screen around. But so Gaethje's just a really exciting fighter. I think he's just going to keep being built up. And who do you think his next fight will be?
Khabib's the fight to make. I don't know if that was confirmed or not, but I know they were looking at August.
Yeah.
I know they were looking at August for those two. So you know what's crazy about Gaethje is like he loves to stand and bang, but he's like an all-American wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, and he doesn't want to do it though.
He didn't know how to strike at all when he first started in the UFC.
Yeah, and he's loving it now. He's loving the striking. Yeah. I respect it.
Pretty incredible that he learned how to strike when he first started, but he was an elite wrestler.
Yeah.
And then he beat Tony like he did.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I've never seen Tony get worked like that in my life. It was amazing to see. I was just like, I thought that when Tony caught him, I think he caught him with an uppercut, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the Tony. Because like I love Tony, and the thing is like that Khabib Tony fight is like the best fight in the UFC that's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really pulling for Tony, and Tony didn't need to fight Gaethje. Like Tony could have sat out, and he would have got the Khabib fight. It wouldn't have mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was pulling for Tony just because I want to see that Khabib fight. But, man, Gaethje he was on another level that night.
Yeah.
He was on another level. I respect it.
Would you say probably best fight in the 10 months that we missed?
No.
All right. Who else?
The best fight that I've seen, and this might be of all time. We watched it together.
Go ahead and remind me.
Oh, man. Weili Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Oh
yeah,
my
that
gosh.
was crazy.
That could have been the best, men or women, best fight of all time. That fight was crazy.
Okay. I mean, that one's probably an outlier. What about best male fight?
Best male fight?
I mean, if I'm going to act like Brendan Schaub, we know women.
Well,
I didn't say that. That's somebody else.
That's Brendan Schaub.
He's not big on female fighters, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't want to say it's the best. I think that it was like one of the most shocking.
What are some other big ones?
Well, we talked about the Conor one just because, you have to.
Right.
That's a big one. Usman Colby.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Just right off the top of my head.
I haven't heard a peep out of him.
Colby?
What's going on with Colby? He got hurt, right?
So I think he's still wanting to fight. Here's the thing is, I know Woodley just lost to Burns. Woodley said that he signed on the dotted line.
Did you say he's still wanting to fight or he still won the fight?
Wanting to fight.
Oh, okay.
Wanting. Sorry. No. He got knocked out. I won money on that.
Just rare, right?
No. So Woodley said that he signed the fight to fight Colby, and that it was the ball was in his court, and Colby doesn't want it type deal. But I don't know. That would be a good fight to see because Woodley and Colby's fought for years. Like they feuded for years, and I'd love to see that. I don't know much else from Colby. He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, he has, surprisingly.
He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, that shut him up.
Yeah, he said that it was kind of on the ref, though. I mean, because I guess with like the groin shots and fake groin shots and all that, he kind of wasn't for it. So that is what it is. But, let's get past that. Let's go on to your favorite fighter. That's a big talking point.
My favorite fighter?
You know who it is. Your favorite.
You want to talk about Henry Cejudo?
That's right.
He's not my favorite fighter. But he has been a lot less annoying recently, and I think it's because he's on his way out. I mean, he's retiring, right? Mm-hmm. Man, he would just fire me up so much because I understood he was acting. I understood the gimmick that he was going with.
Yeah, it's a gimmick.
But it just still... it was just still seems so fake to me. and I understand a gimmick is fake, but it's like...
You still bought into it.
Calling out female fighters, like... I don't know. Like the... Like, what the hell is that, man? Like, that's what I did when I was 2 years old. And watching my dad lift weights.
I think I told you, Henry Cejudo is the greatest... combat.
I wish I could do that face, honestly.
Me too. It's impressive.
We could. Oh man.
Henry Cejudo is the greatest combat fighter of all time, and there's literally you can't debate it. I'm sorry, you can't debate it.
Yeah, but
you can't debate it.
I guess I just discriminate against people that size. How big is he? Like 125?
He originally had the 125 belt and has the 135 belt. And then has an Olympic gold medal. How do you argue against that?
He said that he would go up and fight 145. Did you see that?
Yes. And
who was he trying to fight?
The actual champion. Now let me tell you, he
said he would come back for that.
Yes, yeah. But that fight's about to happen against Holloway. If Holloway wins that belt back, no way does Cejudo fight Max Holloway, because let me tell you why. Max Holloway will tower over Cejudo, and that's not going to happen. But, it's whatever.
I mean, if he's the best of all time.
I didn't say he was the best UFC fighter of all time. No,
best of his weight class of all time.
No. I didn't say that either.
Which is a lot less impressive.
That's what people are going to get confused. I said combat, fighter. That puts in everything. And that's what puts in the Olympics. Nunez? Yeah, a combat fighter of all time. Nunez is the GOAT of the UFC.
Okay. Yeah, I understand how you're distinguishing it. Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, that's what does it. That's what puts him over the edge with that.
I got you.
And you can't really argue against it.
Combat athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You can't argue it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And then I know that me personally, I know I'm probably in a vast majority when I say GOAT is Amanda Nunes, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
People will always argue.
She defended the 135 belt and the 145 belt while holding them both at the same time.
Tell you what, no matter what Shay says, what anybody else says, the best of all time, the GOAT, who will always be the best, is easily Jon Jones.
No.
And no matter how much he gets in trouble, how many things he does wrong, objectively, if you look at statistics and
Amanda
fights,
Nunes is the GOAT.
It is Jon Jones.
It's not. If you
think he lost to Dominick Reyes? I mean, this is going back.
Once again, another one we missed. Do I think he lost? No. Would I have been okay with him losing objectively? Yeah. But I'm still okay with him winning. I think that it was a super close fight.
Right.
I think Jones.
His last few fights were pretty.
Yeah.
Hold on. Who was his most recent fight? Was it Reyes?
Reyes. And
Reyes,
then before
and then
that
Thiago.
was Santos. And Santos could have beat him if Santos didn't get hurt.
Santos could have beat him injured.
Yeah. So Reyes, I think Reyes definitively won rounds 1 and 2. And I think Jones definitively won 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And then 3, I think if that's, as much as I hate to say it, if it's not a championship fight, Reyes won round 3. But where it's a championship fight, I don't think he necessarily did enough in round 3, which I hate saying that. I think that gives the edge to Jon. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him winning, but I would have been okay with him. It's not like it was a robbery either way if they give it to either one of them. It wasn't a robbery. It was so close. And it was such a good fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you for saying that. That's pretty good.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's honest and I guess objective.
Yeah, that's objective. I mean, like I said, you can't argue Reyes didn't win 1 and 2, and you can't argue that Jones didn't win 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that round 3, that's where the toss-up was. So, you're splitting hairs at that point, and I'm okay with giving it to the champ at that point.
Yeah. So, what about Jan Blachowicz? What's his next fight?
Oh, man, that's your guy.
He was in the conversation. Yeah, remember that night we were in B-Dubs and I bet on him?
Yeah.
And he came out and just had that crazy knockout against the model.
Your boy, Rockhold.
He knocked out Rockhold. That was crazy. I'm excited to see him fight again.
Yeah, I don't know who his next fight is. I don't know if he has one. I don't know if Jan has one.
I know he was brought up whenever the Jones and...
After the Jones-Reyes.
No. Oh my God, Jones and Francis.
Oh.
Once that conversation kind of ended, I think somebody said something about Jan coming in, maybe deserving it. I don't know.
I don't want to see Jon at 205 anymore. I'm bored.
Agree. All right, now I'm recording again. All right, so yeah, I'd like to see Jon Jones move to heavyweight. I think it would be the best thing that could happen. Sorry, we left you there for a second. The camera paused, and after 30 minutes, it tags out. So you got to restart. But
so since we're talking heavyweights, we got the DC Stipe. We got that one coming up.
I don't want to see DC come back.
What? Come on. That's what we're not going to do is disrespect DC.
He's overrated, bro.
How?
He's fat.
Come on. That's what we're not going to do. So he's been
It's me saying that.
he's been a light heavyweight champ, a heavyweight champ.
All right. I hope he comes back and gets beat again.
Wow. You know,
why do you like him? Just let him be a commentator.
He's a great commentator too.
Yeah.
Great. He's great at analyzing in there, but no.
It's just me being a Jones and a Stipe fan. So
I like Stipe too. That's the problem.
Who else does Stipe fight besides going and fighting Francis again?
Jon Jones.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good one.
They won't give it to him right now. They don't. Well, I don't think that'll be. I don't think that they will let Jon Jones just come in and have a title fight.
Especially with Francis on the win streak he's been on.
Yeah.
But then again, it's Jon Jones.
That's true.
I think if it's anybody else, I agree with you. But it's Jon Jones. Yeah. So I disagree.
With the way he's been acting, though, Dana's not going to let that happen.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, though, is Stipe has to get through DC. And DC's already said this is his last fight no matter what. So that's... Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I just thought of. And I haven't thought of this ever. DC wins the heavyweight belt. He beats Stipe. Let me tell you what they do. Jon Jones versus Francis for the vacant heavyweight championship.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's what they're going to do. And I think that favors Jon Jones. I think that favors him because I think if he has to go through Stipe is a heavy hitter. Not as heavy as Francis, obviously, but he's still a heavy hitter. Mm-hmm. But he's way more technical.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be a little bit harder for Jon. I think Francis, if you can survive rounds 1 and 2, you're good. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think that's what's going to happen if DC wins. Now, if Stipe wins, then Jon goes up, fights Francis. If he wins, then he fights Stipe, and then that's what you have.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That's my predictions for that.
Yeah. I have no reason to argue with you on that. All right. What else?
Well, then you got the Usman and Burns fight coming up. That's a big one for the 170. Burns just beat Woodley. I was disappointed in Woodley.
Poor Woodley, yeah.
I'm a big Woodley fan.
Yeah,
and
me too.
That hurt. That hurt me.
Yeah, I'm a big Woodley fan too. I mean, that guy just seemed unbeatable for a while, right?
That's a good way of putting it. And he's been kind of a disappointment lately. I'd like to see him and Colby fight. No, I'm good. And plus, I switched over to the cheap gym. I think, man, I tell you what fight that I was most excited to see here recently. My main man, probably my second favorite fighter, maybe third favorite, just depending on the day. Cody Garbrandt. Got back in the win column. Looking good.
Finally.
Looking good. I tell you what, that was the best fight I've seen him fight maybe ever. He looked so good, and it was just like he was calm. Not best fight ever, because his best fight ever was Dom. Second best fight of all time that I've seen Cody. He was just so calm. He landed some good shots. Didn't get crazy. Didn't bite down on the mouthpiece and move forward. Mm-hmm. Just stayed calm. It looked really good. Switching camps, I think that helped him. I think he didn't really switch camps. He's with Alpha Male and still training with them, but it's like he split his time. That's what he's doing. I love it. I love seeing Cody get back in the win column, and I think he's wanting to fight again. I saw him.
He's still fighting at 170, right?
35. Garbrandt's 35.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you messed up way.
It's
off by 35 pounds.
It's the Woodford Reserve. It's getting to you.
Yeah. That's been a while. Yeah, I haven't.
So
also been a while since I really paid attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to start watching that 135 division because that division might be the most stacked. People might argue. I think the most stacked division.
TJ 35, right?
Yeah, if he wouldn't be suspended because
How long is he going to be suspended?
Was it 2 years? I think it was 2. I think it was 2 total years.
That's crazy.
Well, and yeah, because he got the loss to your boy.
Triple
C.
I'm glad that he lost.
Cheating.
Given that he was cheating.
Yes.
And he lost. But
so that 135 division is just completely stacked. I mean, you have Aldo, Peter Yan, Cody Garbrandt, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling, who just came off a huge win. That's another one. I mean, my goodness, that division is stacked. I don't even know
Did
what
Aldo
you
just
do.
fight again, or is he about to fight
So
again?
Aldo just fight not too long. It was like 3 months ago. Aldo's about to fight for the vacant belt because Cejudo left. He's fighting Peter Yan for the belt.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big fight. And then I don't know who they put in after that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do after that belt. After that happens, whoever wins, I don't know what they do after that. I don't know. I don't think personally, as much as I love Garbrandt, you can't put him in there. You have to go Aljamain. You have to go Sterling for the next title shot, and that's just if he doesn't do something dumb and like goes and fights again, like Tony did. Like if I'm Sterling's manager, I'm like, or his trainer or whatever, I'm just like, don't fight. Just wait on the title shot and you're
chill
good.
out. Yeah.
Just chill out. Keep training hard. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Keep doing that. That 135 division stacked. I think that's probably the most stacked, followed by probably 170, and then probably 55. That's probably my top 3 divisions.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. If there's anybody out there watching, what do y'all want us to talk about going forward? I know we had a pretty big recap on this one. We knew that was going to happen. This one was going to be a little bit longer than what it usually is.
Yeah.
And I know my man here was talking about maybe not just doing UFC, going into other stuff, maybe just life stuff.
Yeah. So we would like to kind of expand the podcast a little bit. We definitely get hour-long, if not more, time in on our episodes just talking about UFC. So that's not going away. So you're not going to be missing anything. But I'm really interested in kind of expanding the podcast, the quote-unquote brand, if you will, just to kind of get on more of a level where you kind of know who I am a little bit more. You know who Shay is a little bit more. And, our favorite podcast is Rogan, and we're nowhere near close and can't even aspire, to be like Rogan. But I think that his podcast has a pretty cool model because it's not just about one thing. It's about all the things that he's interested in, and he can bring on people who are interesting to talk about those things.
That's another thing.
And that's something I would love to do.
We're open to doing is bringing in people.
Because we are interested in more than just UFC stuff.
Yeah.
We could get into some of the gaming stuff. You're into esports. We could start talking about some of that stuff. I personally really like talking about life stuff. So we can just see how it all fits together.
I tell you something that I personally would love to do. And I don't know how big this would be. Is just like us doing like whiskey reviews. Mm-hmm. I think that would be fun for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or even like...
We almost have to have that. We should have segments where, or even just episodes dedicated to, we're going to review these 3 to 5 different whiskeys, compare them, talk about them, and also spend a little bit of time learning about them. Because for the most part, we're casual drinkers, but we've tasted a lot of different kinds of whiskey. Yeah. It would be cool to, along with our audience, help them learn with us where they're from.
Yeah.
And how they're made and all that stuff.
We definitely drink a lot because, you got to think, like, we started out on what in the world did you have me try up there?
Oh, it's actually a Shackleton. It's a Scotch by this. It was named after this guy who was an explorer of Antarctica, actually, in the 1900s. And so his name was Ernest Shackleton. And I've only had a few different scotches. Actually, probably the first scotch that I tasted was the Shackleton and Lagavulin is probably how you say it, I think. And the Lagavulin is like double the cost of Shackleton, but I like Shackleton more. And
see, and that's just like why I would like to do reviews of that, because like you had me start out on that, what he was just telling you about. And then I went to my cheap gin, and then I switched back to his Woodford Reserve. And then I'm back on the gym.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good range. Yeah, it's pretty good range of stuff. Yeah, and I think that that would be good for our audience too. So we'll try stuff out. We'll do what's fun, and we're not going to do anything that we don't enjoy. And so we'll definitely be engaged. And so hopefully you guys are engaged too. But we really do want to hear your feedback because as much as we enjoy doing this, we do want to make it better.
Yeah, 100%. That I don't have anything to add to that. I agree.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This is season 2, episode 1 of the Whiskey Weigh-In podcast. Very happy to be back. And
very happy. I told the women upstairs I've not been more excited for anything in probably the past 10 months than to do this right here.
Yeah. So you'll see this episode probably released on Friday, and we'll probably commit to Friday releases here moving out, and we'll try to be consistent on Thursday nights where we actually record. So thanks you guys again, and you all take care.
Peace.